everyone, welcome along to part 18 of the Hit and Miss engine. In this part I hope to do the tappets, the rocker unit and the push rod so that the actual cam works and does something. I've only got sort of half of it done. How far I'll get I don't know, but it probably won't be a long one because I want to make a start on the Governor in part 19, and I want to dedicate time specifically for doing just that job. So I'll probably do 18 and then end it before I start on the Governor. So I don't know how long this one will be, but I hope you enjoy it, and in advance thanks for watching. Think about subscribing, tell your mates. Thank you. So this is our little camshaft rocker arm support. I need to find the size of it. Sorry, I need to edge find each side of it and then do a half so I can find the dead centre, and then from that centre outwards I can mark up where my two holes need to be, if that makes any sense. So if this is working out on the little GoPro, you're going to be seeing my actual DRO, and I'll leave it running for as long as the battery lasts. Let's zero everything, and we're on X. Yeah, 0. Right, let's move to the other end of it. So now we want to press this X and this half, X, half. So it's telling me the centre of this is 19.550. I also want to do the centre of this, Y. So let's move that way, come along roughly to the middle. Y 0. Come to the other side. And do the same again. Y half, so it's 6.995 that way to the centre, and if I turn that down to 0, that top one, X. Right, so that's centre that way. Let's get rid of this. Fine. Oh, you're still in view. So we need to get centre now of Y that way. So we need to count down to 0. Right, so technically we're dead centre of that piece of work. Does it look like we are? It certainly does. Let's drill a little dimple in it. It's not going to be seen, that's going to be at the back. Okay, so from there to get to the holes that I want to drill here, it's a total of 22.37. It's 22.37, so if I half that, 11.185 from there this way. So I need to come 11 point on X, 11.185. There we go, 11.185. Okay, so that should be our first hole. Let's drill it. Well, no, let's dimple. Actually, no. I need to drill it. So I'm going to drop table back down. Otherwise, I'm going to be swapping around all the time. It's a blooming fix after all this. And we're drilling it 5mm. Right, I don't move. Yeah, that has look into it and that. So Y has moved. Right, so if eggs is eggs, I need to move 20, if I take a 0 now, 22.37, so X 0 and move it 22.37. Come on. That should be my next hole. Let's see if I can drill it straight off. If not, I'll have to put a centre in. The difference with a bit of lube on it. Okay. Am I messed up? If it is, it's only just, but then will that cause this one to bind? Yeah, it's definitely catching. But we're only mocking up, so any adjustments can be made. Right. Yeah, I've nipped them up, and now there's a gap here, a bigger gap. It doesn't matter, we're only mucking up. So now we've got that, and so do I leave that angle and make out of this brass plate a rocker arm that'll somehow operate on here to push that valve open? Or do I bend this at right angles so it comes dead straight, and then another right angle up so we've got like an old crank handle for an old car? But the thing is, by the time you see this video I will have decided and done it. But yeah, you can always shout at the screen and say, no, that's no good, it ain't gonna work. We'll see. Oh yeah, next thing is to get this piece of brass plate, probably clean it up and blue it, and then scribe out this idea on it and then cut it. I've got plenty of it, because I need another piece of that, I think, possibly for this activator arm for this governor. Somewhere to start. I guess first thing to do is mill a flat face so we can get it sighted, so everything can be square, and then do all the milling. So that's 10mm or more wide. It doesn't need to be that wide, it's only something like 5, but I've left a couple of 2.5 mil on each side for milling, for cutting and dressing up. Okay. Ow, that hurt around my elbow. Yep, that's cleaned up. I think I might have just got a little bit out in this distance from the centre line of that to the centre line of that, which is the centre line of the exhaust valve stem and the centre line of the push rod that operates it. So I'm going to dogleg it off a little bit. So I think when I line this up dead centre to the exhaust valve, this were a little bit down from the push rod. So I've only taken a bit off there just to clean it up, so the most of the material will come off this bottom edge. I've also got to be careful because just here is where it's going to pivot, where it's going to swing, and that must be of a particular size. I think it's 7.9 or something, I won't measure it on camera, but it's so just that bit would have to be of a thickness, and then this would be slightly thinner. I mean, it is quite strong as this. It's going to do for a rocket arm. Look how thick it is, and it's only pushing that little spring open. So yeah, we're on a beginning of a roll. Doing some nasty burrs is that milling cutter. Anyway, so the pivot's going to be there. I think it's going to work, but it's just about, it wants deburring, getting to size, decide how I'm going to make it adjustable. Needs drilling for a pin so it can be pinned into a fork, and then do I put a tappet adjuster on there, or don't know. That's got to rub on end of the valve somehow. Not sure yet how we're going to do that. Right, that's it, just loosely fitted. And it's going to catch the inlet valve there, so it's going to have a radius cut in it there, and I might also have to take that spring keeper off and make a smaller one, because it can be smaller than that, and then it might clear this here. So I'm going to do the tappet adjuster on the push rod, and this is going to be solid, and I'm thinking of using drilling and threading dead centre of the valve stem with M3, and either making or using an Allen screw and shaving the hex that's cut into it for the Allen key and make it into a smooth radius. I'm cutting a slot in here with a 4mm slot cutter. I want 4.38 gap. What's it for? It's the push rod fulcrum, the little swivel that the push rod's going to go on. So I'm going to make that, cut it down that way, drill and thread the end, and that'll screw on, and that'll be there's a name for it in there. I'll call it the swivel. And slotting, so I don't try not to break the cutter. That's it. Right, I've got a lot of milling to do here. Might speed it up or something when I've done it, because it's I've got to get all that metal off there, and it's either do it on bandsaw, but it's so little and fiddly and you're getting your fingers in that blade. I thought, no, do it this way. done. We are done. Right, so we've cut down the push rod, the hex bar, which I'll show you in a second. This is my little tappet I've made from a 3mm Allen screw. I've machined the head down on it till all that were left were flat. The hex had gone. So that's my tappet, which is adjustable. We'll put a lock nut on there and trim it. So that's gonna hit the valve there. I've got a pin to make for this and circlip it, as I've already talked about. So that's our valve operation. Our valve operation, because bear in mind it's only going to push it 3mm, and then, sorry I keep moving camera, but I'm trying to show you everything. I'll try and edit bits out. Okay, so I've cut this down by that amount, chop that off, zoom out a bit. So I've chopped this off. We're stuck out like that. Drilled and tapped it 4mm. We've got our little rod that'll be threaded 4mm, both ends of it. Again, with lock nuts on. This we've just made, that you've just seen me doing. So that, we're going to chop that down, drill it and tap it 4mm for this to screw into. And that will then fulcrum like so on there. And that'll be then cut off. So that's the valve gear working. And this spring that I put in this shaft is sufficient to pull all this back, because I've got a gap, a tappet gap, which I can adjust up if I want, but that's great. So I've just fettled up this bit here, so my next bit is to, I've got these pins to make here, is to maybe form this part around here. I want to radius that round, not maybe at the back because you don't see the back, but I might barrel roll that round there. So I'm going to have to do all that by hand, because I couldn't get a radius cutter to go that deep. It'd hit this. I'd only get to about here. So I'm going to have to do it by file. So I've rounded that off a little bit, just a bit of spit and polish, some Solvol and Dremel with a little felt pad on, and I've polished this rod up, this clevis and rocker arm. See what difference it makes. A bit of spit and polish, yeah. So that's almost done. To cut that down, make 2 pins, circlip groove them, and that section's finished. The head's only bolted on loose. I made a bit of an error when I did the spark plug hole. and I run a milling cutter down. I probably wasn't running fast enough, or I'd got a bit of chatter, and down in there, the plug hole at the bottom where the seal's going to sit, it's like serrated, so I'm going to have to somehow go in with another milling cutter and probably run it at a really high speed with some lubricant on and try and clean that face up, otherwise the spark plug's not going to seal properly. I'm really chuffed that that's working right now. So that's 3mm of lift. I'm really chuffed with it. Next job, as I said, after I've done that, I'll probably show it, but I've got to start thinking about this governor. Groove and a groove, you can see them, that's one, that's the other one. I've only put the circlip on one of them. Right, so I got the tappet cut down. That's fastened in there, and I made these little pins, which I did show you earlier. I think I just took a little video of them. So I made two little cotter pins, if you like, whatever they're called, for these fulcrum points. So that's the valve gear pretty much done. I might just have to work on that cam again, I don't know, but maybe not. So yeah. We've got a little bit of tappet clearance there, so that's okay. With the amount of tappet clearance I've give it, there's about 2.7mm valve lift. I'd planned on 3, but I'm sure that'll be enough. If not, I can always take a bit off back at cam, so it'll give it more lift and readjust this, but I'm sure it'll be alright. But we'll only find that out when we come to get it to run, if ever, sort of. But yeah, I'm quite happy so far. So next, I need to sort that plug hole out that I mentioned. If I lift camera up, let's see if you can see this. What I mean about this serrated, I'll turn that off, or maybe that hole, that plug hole there, I don't know if you can see, but there's serrated. I don't know how the zoom's going to work on that, would it be? That's gone. There. Yeah, if you can see that, it's serrated. Not massively, but enough to stop that valve, spark plug seating properly. So we're definitely going to have to do something with that. I'll probably make this part 18 and finish it here. Okay, and I'll look at my governor next, which will be part 19, I guess. Well, governor setup. I haven't even put piston back in yet. I've had this piston in, and it fits great. But as I say, it's all taped up just for safety at the moment, so I don't damage it. So yeah, I've got to sort governor out, because You can't even think about putting flywheels on until the governor's sorted out. I mean, the size of these things, that's got to go on there, and one on there, but they are heavy. I haven't weighed them, but they're heavy. If they're too heavy, I'll have to take some material off them and try and lighten them. Yeah. Not bad though, either, for some weightlifting weights. I've showed this before in another part. I mean, they were the brother and sister to them, and that's what they looked like. I think that was the first thing I did in part 1, was make them. Took a bit of doing because they were really hard. So yeah, we'll call that end of part 18, and I'll begin part 19 next. Okay, thanks for watching so far. Give us a thumbs up and a like and comment. Okay, thank you, bye.